Welcome, O wanderers of the wavelength, to the inner sanctum of the Chilluminatti. You didn't find us by accident. You were tuned in. Behind this veil of shadow and signal, we gather, not to follow, but to question. So light your candle and lean back 33 degrees. Close the blinds and forget what they told you was real.
You can't go on, and you're sinking low. Just
Hello. It's Saturday night. It's the Chilluminatti. I am the Grand Master of Ceremonies. My name is Jimmy.
Come on down. I hear you're feeling down. Well, I can ease your pain, get you on your feet again. Relax. I need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain, you are receding. A distant ship, smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. When I was a child, I had a fever. My hands felt just right. The man decides after 70 years that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. Well, all around them criticize and sleep. Through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we trip. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy. Unless we get a little bit crazy. No, 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 we'll never survive unless we get a little bit. 'Cause in a sky full of people, only someone to fly. Isn't that crazy?
Come on, let me off. Taking the time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my eyes says, hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up.
Let's take a trip together, headlong into the irresistible orbit. Breathing cold black space with the glistening edges. Let's take a trip, me and you. Let's go the scenic route. Get to know each other.
There goes morphine. It's Saturday night. Saxophone. Yeah. Well, hey, welcome. It's Ground Zero Plus. Hope you're doing great. I'm doing fairly okay. Yeah, so last night, some intense revelations around this phenomenon. We'll talk about.
Somewhere there's no earthquakes of other people's anxiety. questions, no nervous wrecks. Going down, no nervous wrecks.
Yeah, that's. Let me bust that
No
back.
nervous wrecks. Going down.
Hold on, listen to this here.
Leaking through the windows, dripping from a tree somewhere there's no earthquakes of other people's anxious questions, no nervous wrecks. Going down, no nervous wrecks. Going down. Let's take a trip.
That's off the Cure for Pain LP. Unlike Marcellus Wallace telling that dude he's soon to be living the rest of his miserable life in agonizing pain. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to. I'm here to tell you. So yeah, I haven't heard from anybody, Epic or anyone, but I honestly haven't reached out to anybody either. So I just been.
There are 3 areas on a man's body
Hang
that
on a
show his
second.
likely.
These fuckers are always nipping at my heels. No, I had been doing some stuff. I've been doing some work on a particular subject matter. And I have a loose presentation that we can do on it. And, you know, basically, it started off, for me, it started off with this article that I read. And it's in relation to what we were talking about last night, how, you know, different groups of people that were raised with technology, you know, there's 2 of them now. And there's a second group, but the first group and the second group are now, you know, where we are with these devices and how they're integrated into our lives, and how it's what I was saying last night is it's transhumanism, but it's without things being put in your skull. In other words, all the things you used to do and all the pathways you used to burn in your head when you were going through your learning process in your formative years, those pathways are, you know, different, and they're made different with the advent of technology, simply because you know, your brain and the functioning of it and the solving of problems is done in a different way, almost in a sense that there really doesn't have to be much problem solving, because you can just easily just type a few things onto a search box and find out just about anything you need to know in the moment. But you don't have to keep it in your head. You can just pull it up when you need it, that type of shit. So there's this article. Here, hang on a second. Let me see. I may be able to I can't promise you I'm going to post this over there, but it's mediaite.com, like it sounds, mediaite.com, mediaite. And the article is titled, and this is what got me started on this subject matter, was alarming new study finds smartphones are ruining our brains at an unprecedented speed. Any parent with a kid addicted to TikTok or Instagram is familiar with the concern that it's ruining their brain. I'm from a certain age where I heard that refrain regularly from my dad as I settled in each summer afternoon to watch reruns of Gilligan's Island and Brady Bunch. Partridge Family, it was the golden age of reruns. But once was hyperbole is turned into science, and the results are beyond alarming. The universal addiction to smartphones is actively ruining our brains, especially Generation Z, and at a pace that should absolutely freak everybody out. The Financial Times recently published a devastating analysis of American personality changes using data from the Understanding America study. And the findings should stop you cold. In less than a decade, conscientiousness, the trait most closely linked to responsibility, follow-through, and self-control, has collapsed among young adults from those aged between 16 to 39. And it's not a gradual erosion, it's a plunge. from respectability into low 30th percentile. Older adults who aren't addicted to cell phones or smartphones remain essentially unchanged. So there's a graphic that's got a scale and whatnot, and while the full explanation of these shifts requires thorough investigation, there'll be many factors at work. Smartphones and streaming services are likely the culprit. The advent of ubiquitous and hyper-engaging digital media has led to an explosion in distraction, as well as making it easier than ever to either make plans in the first place or abandon them. The sheer convenience of online world makes real-life commitments feel messy and effortful, as a rise of time spent online and attendant decline in face-to-face interactions enable behavior of such as ghosting. So other charts in the article reveal attention to deficits are not the only issue. Deeper commitment to a digital world over the real world is also evolving at an alarming rate. A sharp decline in trust and extroversion. You need evidence, just go to any public park in which the vast majority of people staring into their phones. So we're living through a revolution bigger than the printing press. It's not hyperbole. When Gutenberg's printing press arrived in the 15th century, it rewired the world, making knowledge scalable. It took centuries for that transformation to ripple through every corner of human society. The smartphone has done the same thing, only it's moving at light speed and in the opposite direction. So only in only a decade, basically, a bunch of really great, I guess, things had been undone, depending. But so let me see here. In less than 15 years, we've tethered billions of brains to an always-on, infinitely stimulating meta world, a hybrid of the broader digital ecosystem and the AI-powered feed that tells you what's conventionally known, and social media platforms to distort reality by promoting the loudest and most self-promotional sliver of humanity. It's not a tool for quiet reflection. It's a behavioral slot machine that lives in your hand. That's good. That is good. Behavioral slot machine right in your hand. All this racket as I drop my mouse. So the cost is attention. It's not that I just get attracted sometimes, but the sustained focus that conscientiousness requires, the skill of delaying gratification, resisting impulse, and staying the course is being replaced by addiction to novelty, validation, and stimulation. The more we indulge, the less we can resist indulging. And the chart's free-falling red line for young adults shows exactly where the low leads. The speed of the shift should terrify us. The printing press transformed literacy, religion, and politics, but it also did it over centuries, allowing institutions and cultures to adapt to the smart. The smartphone has reshaped cognition, social norms, and mental health in barely a decade without any meaningful adaptation of all. We didn't get a century to build guardrails. We got a push notification. Future historians will likely look at this era in which where humans zombified themselves, presuming there are any future historians not addicted to their phones. There you go. So, there's more. There's more to this, but I mean, I took a bunch of this article and I dropped it into ChatGPT. Took certain pieces out of this, because I'm looking at these. I'm looking at this. It seems like there's a mechanism, a trapping mechanism that I noticed, and I was trying to suss out what it might be. And in the course of doing that, one of the things right now, what I'm recalling while we're reading this here is there was, I don't know, man, it was probably about 10 years ago, we did show on postmodernist deconstructionism. And I basically was, putting it out in the alternative media at a time when, no one was really obviously even thinking or talking about it. And the thing was, it's like, people would talk about this secret plan that, there's a secret plan and da-da-da-da. But the thing is it's not a secret. You can go over there and look at the philosophy of postmodernist deconstructionism. You can look at it, and you'll see that it is a fucking blueprint for, the reality that we're living in. Seriously. And, and there's something in that particularly called hyper reality, which is when, the stuff that goes on these devices, and then there's real life. And hyper reality is when someone prefers to be in that reality rather than be here in the physical world type of thing. So anyway, you can definitely check out The Secret Plan. I think you can even go you might be able to take a college course and get a degree in postmodernist deconstructionism. I know you could definitely take a class on it. But anyhow, it's Ground Zero Plus. My name's Jimmy. It's this Saturday night, Chilluminatti. I'm sitting here like a lone wolf, howling at that full moon tonight here in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which hasn't really come up yet. It's coming up though. It's barely even dark at this point. So it's been a really nice California day here in Northern California. Perfect weather. About 75 degrees. No real breeze, but like I said, it's been a nice day, weather-wise. But anyhow, so I'm not real sure where Epic Journeyman is. I hadn't heard from him today. And so, like I said, hey, Sergeant Miller. Like I say, I didn't reach out either, so I didn't hit him up a little bit before the show.
Hey lady, you got the love I need. Baby, more than enough. Oh darling, 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 walk a while with me. Oh, you got so much, so much, so much.
It's a Led Zeppelin kind of night here in Santa Cruz Mountains. Yeah, so I see Sergeant Miller's over there. You could join up, Sergeant Miller, if you want to. let me know in that chat there, and I'll ring you up on Teams. Damn. Can't wait to go to work tomorrow. What's up, Mike Mont? Hey, Karen. Hey, Brent. Woohoo. Amber 2. What's up, Polynation? It's good to see you, Amber. Mike. Everybody. Yeah. So, yeah, Sergeant Miller. Finger. What's up, Finger, man? Hey, Mike Davis, what's happening? What's up, D. Hodges? Good to see you, man. Yeah, some Led Zeppelin. Now it's funny, it's really funny because there's a bunch of these radio, there's these rockers, musicians that were in, popular bands or, had in giant bands, however you want to look at it. We talked about Alice Cooper last night, so there's Alice Cooper's out there, Dee Snider's out there, Sammy Hagar is out there. It's a dude from the Black Crowes, I think, is out there. I think that's the guy. Anyways, there's a bunch of them out there. They made their way, at some point. It's like when you were an actor and then all of a sudden you start doing a sitcom. Sitcom's like a regular paycheck. It's like a job. You just go show up down there. Whereas the movies, you got to sit there and wait in between this and that. So a lot of actors, when they get tired of hustling, they just drop into start doing a fucking sitcom. Comedians too, they do it too. But why are we talking about it? I have no idea. But the point is that I was listening to Sammy Hagar coming on to his show this morning, or this afternoon, and he's playing, he's obviously playing one of his songs, a little intro bleep that comes in, and he comes in and he's all, Sammy Hagar, and he's all enthusiastic, and he's full of energy, he's bursting with energy, and I'm thinking to myself, it sounds like he was sitting there 2 minutes ago talking to somebody, but he didn't sound like that. It sounded like a voice, like a radio voice, like Casey Kasem. He had a certain voice. You know what I mean? It was his radio voice. But when he wasn't on the radio, he didn't necessarily talk like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, the point is, it started to sound like, because obviously, how old are these dudes? You know what I'm saying? Like, how old's Alice Cooper? How old's Sammy Hagar? At this point, it's almost like when you used to hear, like washed up dudes from the 50s turning into radio disc jockeys. You know what I mean? Like that whole style that they used to do back in the day, talking it up and all that. Anyways, these rockers, they're all doing like radio shows now. Thematics. I think Sammy's thematic for today was coming and going. So I don't know. I didn't see Sergeant Miller. If you're still listening over there, man, if you want to come on, I'll just call you off Skype, or not Skype, but there. Anyway, so it's that this isn't happening in a vacuum. In the last 15 years, we've strapped billions of people to a slot machine in their pocket. The smartphone powered by AI-driven feeds that know exactly how to keep you clicking, scrolling, and coming back for more. The more you indulge, the less you're able to resist indulging. If we keep going the way we are, the status quo, we could hit the mid 20 percentile by 2040. That's a workforce, a politics, and a culture that can't finish anything hard. If we added some guardrails, some regulations, some tech changes, we may stabilize it, but we won't get back what we've lost. If we go full detox and redesign tech to reward depth instead of clicks, rebuild cultural habits around focus, we could rebound into the mid-30s. Seriously, though, come on, man. Is it almost impossible? I mean, does anybody ever really change? You know what I mean? I mean, like when you were a kid and you were in grade school and then you were in junior high and then high school and then you got out of high school, you got out in the world and went to college maybe, you know, but ultimately, weren't you pretty much always the same? I mean, when you look back at yourself, you know, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, here. So, have you ever heard of something called mental rumination? No, I did a show about this back when I used to do my Monday show on Rev Radio. And so this article here reminded me of that particular thing. And so rumination is the repetitive cycling of the same thoughts, often negative, without moving forward for resolution. Psychologists call it sticky cognition, where your brain gets stuck in a loop rather than progressing toward action. It feels like thinking, but it's actually cognitive paralysis. So where this links to the smartphone is infinite scroll and algorithmic feeds. They train your brain to loop. So you scroll, you see something triggering, you think about it, you see a new variation, you keep thinking about it. This prevents closure and mental clean break needed to move forward. Rumination hijacks the same mental bandwidth conscientiousness needs for planning, problem solving, and self-discipline. So how rumination feeds the collapse is reduced conscientiousness equals less follow through, more unfinished tasks, more anxiety, more rumination, less focus, until you're in a feedback loop. And a lot of this articles, graphs, show a spike in neuroticism. And neuroticism is a perfect fuel for rumination. So people feel mentally busy but produce nothing, the illusion of work, because people just sitting there, brain going all the time type of thing. So let me see here. So here's some techniques for reclaiming mental closure on shit. Timed reflection, so you can think about it, but only in a set window. So if there's some thing you're trying to work through in your mind and you keep going over it and over it again, what you do is you set yourself a time, and you're gonna try to think of solutions for whatever it is for a certain period of time, and then you'll close the book on it and put it away. To like systematically start being able to take things from constantly rolling around in my head, constantly, I'm thinking about some project or something I want to do, or even, one of these shows where I'm sitting there, just going over and over again in my head and like in a loop, and if I could just put it down, close the book and leave it alone and then go lay down and go to sleep instead of laying there, and it's the same thing. That laying there with that thing going through my mind like that is the same exact thing as what's going on with this programming that's happened with these devices in the current society that we're living in is creating a certain, group mentality in a way, because realistically it's like, when we talked about that, Universe 25 thing, the extinction generation. It's interesting that this article directly correlates to the mentalities that were shown by those rats in that experiment. Which is, it is what it is, but it's definitely evident that things are, a certain way. I work around people of all ages, and so I see a lot of younger people, and I come in contact with everybody, on a regular basis, and so I see that a lot of what they were saying in here about Generation Z seems, plausible. It seems like I see that in people that I work with some of those qualities that they were bringing up in this article. But also, the other thing about these devices is all this. Everything is instant gratification. It's right there, right now. There's no, I guess, realistically, I guess hard work doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? I guess, it brings a person to a certain point, it develops a certain kind of a person, but is there value in hard work? Is there any value in you busting your ass? Say you're 25, 30 years old. Is there a value to you busting your ass anymore? Really, for anything, for any reason? Especially when you don't have to. Especially if there's some way you can get out of it. I don't know. What do you got? I don't know what you guys think about it, but over here in the chat. Anyways, hang on a second. So now, let's see what time it is. About 10 minutes till. I'll check in with Sergeant Miller in a second here. Let's see. Brazil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rumination isn't just a mood problem, it's a skill problem. The skill we've lost is mental closure. Without it, your brain keeps 100 tabs open and your focus leaks away. Boink. So, alright, so here. So this is number 1, timed reflection. Set a timer for 10 minutes, think it through, then stop, no overtime. Name it and park it. Write the thought down, park it, and move on. You own the thought doesn't own you. 3, digital Sabbath. 1 day a week, no social media, no infinite scroll. If you feel a withdrawal, you're doing it right. Number 4, task chunking. Bring big things into 15-minute wins. So what you do is they want you to break things up in 15-minute wins. Each one builds momentum and closes the loop. The algorithm keeps you circling. These tools push you forward. Close the loop, take back your focus, and rebuild your attention span. Because if you can't finish a thought, you can't finish anything. There you go. Just a little something that I was putting together for the show on Friday night. It's a Friday night subject matter. There's a lot to it, and a lot of it seems to mostly revolve around how many times I said mostly in the last 30 seconds. But no, seems a lot of the behavior is all built on the internet. And it's just, moved forward over the years into a point where it is now. And where it is now is getting close to the, point where, like I was talking about last night, there's talk that there's going to be this positive ID situation going on YouTube where you're going to have to upload your ID or whatever. And so I don't know how many people are actually going to do that, and I really wouldn't recommend it personally. I mean, I couldn't sit on here and say, hey, yeah, you should do that. So it puts things, in a certain light or whatever, which would mean if, we're not on the YouTube channel and we'll be just on Ground Zero Plus or Revolution Radio. So we'll see what's going to happen. Things are, precarious at this point. All over the world for a lot of reasons. So there's really, we'll see what happens. But, I can't start talking about it because then if I do, then I'll just talk about it. So rather than allude to it, I just won't talk about it right now. But I'll tell you, the climate is getting a bit rough all the way around for a lot of reasons. So, as far as this environment goes, and as far as talk radio goes, and as far as the internet and the internet media and the alternative media and the independent media, and, the millions of people that are, doing shows and podcasts at this point. Because, it's literally to the point when you go on YouTube, there's commercials of dudes or women sitting in front of a microphone like they're doing a podcast. It's like, so it's that plus, what else is it? They don't want you to know about it. That's the other thing. It's a big come on is, here's this thing that they don't want you to know about. I don't know. It's just gotten to this point where, time's up. That's basically what I'm telling you. Time's up. I don't know how much longer with the kind of stuff that's going on in England, where people are getting 2 and 3 years in prison, for a post on Facebook. You know what I mean? So 2 or 3 years in prison for a post on Facebook. And then, so then you have this whole situation over here where everything we say on here is, you never know what you're going to say on here. That's, you know, what you said yesterday was okay, but today it's not okay because there's some other rule that you didn't know about or something that goes on. This is like all of a sudden you'll be talking about something and then you realize, oh, boop, boop, you got a strike or whatever, and now you don't, you know, I mean, I just think the free speech aspect of this whole thing on here is really getting to be, you know, dangerous for people. I mean, you know, you got to ask yourself, I don't know. Like I said, you know, we've been doing this show here for quite a few years. And the environment is completely different than it was when we first got into doing it. So the environment that we're in now is way different than it was back then. You know, because back then, you know, back in the day, lots of shit was speculation, you know, and there wasn't whistleblowers and, you know, all this shit coming out, and there was a lot of shit was speculation. But then, you know, as time went by, the speculation, you know, proved to be, you know, a reality, you know, like we're in, you know. So when it, you know, when it's here, you know, what do you do at that point? You know, you can only, there's nothing you can do. You can't undo the way the world is. You know, you got to live in it somehow. Don't we? Somehow. We got to find a way to live in it. So everybody's adaptable. Everybody's adapting. I mean, we've adapted on here. We adapted on the Kev Baker show. Kev Baker had to adapt when he lost his channel. They struck him out and he went and deleted every single fucking video he ever did to get his channel back, because, you know, he was literally making a living off of the money that he, you know, I mean, it wasn't even all that much money, man. When you have 100,000 subscribers, the kind of money that you make, it's not that much, but it's something, you know. And he was, you know, using that to, you know, support himself and his family, whatever. So when they took it away, he went through and he deleted all that all those shows off his channel. You know, that was tough for him. Seriously tough, because the problem was he didn't know which videos were the ones that, so he just deleted everything. And then after that, on his channel, he had to use different, you know, words that meant, you know, everybody had the inside track or whatever. So Michelle Pfeiffer's, you know, something that Kev Baker used to say on his show. And that's, you know, we continued up with it here, but there's, you know, I mean, anything. So, man, I got a caller one night. The guy called up about a medical device. And just because of that phone call that was on there, that was recorded on there, just because of that, I got a hassle with YouTube. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. It's the ID thing on YouTube is going to be something to see, but I would highly recommend I don't know, man. The thing is, I mean, I want you guys to be, you know, to come check out the show or whatever, but if you have to give your ID to do it, I'm not going to ask you guys to do that. You know what I mean? The only thing I can do is just be, you know, well, I mean, I'll be on the Ground Zero Plus, and that's what I mean. I just don't know what to do. I'm hashing this out with you guys on the air, anyways, and this is just something that somebody doing this would be thinking about. So since I'm here by myself, I'm just rolling through what I'm thinking about it. I've been around YouTube for a long time. I mean, we lost a whole other channel. I lost all. I mean, they just deleted all that shit. I didn't delete it. They deleted it. Not unlike Kev, where he deleted all his shit to get his channel back. They just deleted my whole. They just said, "Hey, it's gone. That's it." I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that the video where we raised the money for Kev after he passed away, 12 hours. I'm sure that was on that channel because I don't have it anymore. Which I mean, I'm just saying that's how easy it is. It's just click, it's gone. Ones and zeros, man. It's not like I built a brick house with all the time I've spent on the air doing shows. You know what I mean? I mean, if you just at a minimum, it's 3 hours a show, okay? So there's 52 weeks in a year. So I could sit here and figure out how many hours I've been on the air. And then that doesn't even include it because I'm only just going by one day. But then there was a time when we were doing a show every day. So I don't. And then there was times when I was doing shows with Kev. So I'd be doing a show with Kev Baker, and then I'd do Joseph's show, and then I'd do our show. Yeah. I mean, there was a time there where I was really doing a lot of shows. And then I'd go over and do other people's shows, visit with people, on their show. Billy, and, all these other people. Charlie. But, thing is, I couple, I don't know. I would say at least a year ago, I, started thinking about, what else is there for us to talk about on here besides everything that's happening and going on? And so it's hard to not talk about what's going on because at this point we were never the shows that we used to do when the show was at a different place. The shows that we used to do had nothing to do with what date it was or what was actually going on in the news that day or that week. Shows we used to do used to be just about something, it had nothing to do with anything topical. And then during the Michelle Pfeiffer incident, things started to become topical. And then in light of what went on with the Golden Toad, obviously, if you're talking about the other topical shit, that topical other stuff comes up, and then the political discussions get, talked about and so on and so forth. So, we migrated over somehow into this, into the realm of current events and obviously current events, they contain all the elements of everything else that we talk about as far as mind control and programming and so on and so forth. So, we took that kind of a track on that type of stuff, whatever the political was. Listen to it in reverse, go over it, you know what I'm saying? Register it up against some things that happened in history, find some correlations or whatever to these public figures and political players or whatever. But it's 2025 and we're still alive, apparently. I keep thinking, there's times when I wonder if we're all just, wherever we are, we're not dead, but, we all could be in some holding place. I don't know. It's all too much. I saw some material a couple days ago about consciousness and these dimensional transformations where you're going back and forth wherever you are. So you just wake up. You know what I mean? You just wake up. If something happens here, you wake up somewhere else. It's like you're just having a bad dream. Or like it happened to somebody else. Well, it's the Chilluminatti. Mine's Jimmy. I'm the master of ceremonies tonight.
Hi,
and
my
every
name is
night-
Mark Chaikin.
Hey, Mark, get the fuck out of here. No one else. It's the wrong room, dude. Get out. Okay. All right. Top of the hour. Ground Zero Plus.
Let's go down to the Sunset Grill and watch the working girls go by. Watch the basket people walk around and mumble. Stare out at the auburn sky. There's an old man there from the old world. For him it's all the same. Calls all his customers by name. Down at the Sunset Grill. 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 You see a lot more meanness in the city. It's the kind that eats you up inside. Hard to come away with anything that feels like dignity. Hard to get home with any pride. These days a man makes you something, and you never see his face. But there is no hiding place. Down at the Sunset Grill. Down at the Sunset Grill.
Down at the Sunset Grill. You know what? I used to work.
3 reasons why you need this.
I used to work at a place called the Sunset Grill. Believe it or not.
The stars, the moonlight glows, a serenade. Where the desert blows, whispers of palm trees, a gentle sigh. As the rhythm of night starts to fly. A night in Tunisia where dreams come alive. Dancing shadows, the heartbeat will thrive. With the melody swirling, we lose track of time. In the magic
Those were the days.
everything feels sublime. Sipping in tea as we gaze at the sky. Stories of old where the sands still lie. The laughter of friends
That's pleasing.
echoing low. In the warmth of the evening, the feelings grow. A night in Tunisia where dreams come alive.
See, that's the thing is like,
In shadow,
we used to go to the movies. We used to go there and like shit was so bad outside the movie theater, you know? It's like depression and this and that. You go to the movies, everybody's singing, dancing, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's like taking people to another place. But now when you go to the movies, it's not like that. It's not like you're going there and it's like something. It's like you know, some kind of experience like that, like a musical or something. It's like you go there and you know, horrified or whatever. But I guess realistically, people don't even go to the movies really anymore, do they? I mean, why the fuck would you want to go to the movies? Sit in those chairs where you're like this, and there's only one arm. So whoever you're sitting next to, whoever you're sitting next to, unless you're sitting 3 or 4 deep, you're gonna sit. Whoever's on the end, they're gonna be sitting there like when you're on an airplane, fighting with your fucking elbow, trying to figure out who, you know, feeling weird shit. You know, I don't know. And then it's just the people. Then people forgot they were at the movies, and they act like they're at home at the couch, and they're just sitting there having conversations. I'm seriously, does anybody even go to the movies anymore? Realistically? I don't think they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. Are restaurants full where you live? I don't know. Are restaurants packed? Or people just like, no place to park? You're like, damn, I'm just coming down for some ribs. I don't know. It's all too much. I just want to chill with Amber and forget about everything else. Well, we'll see. Because potentially, I mean, do you anticipate, just from the tone of society, are you anticipating a peaceful or a more volatile future? I mean, what do? I mean, I guess you could create the future that you want by speaking it into existence. You know, there's that also. There's that awful. There's an awful truth that most people forget about. So, you know, the problem is that we run around unconsciously creating. So it's an unconscious creators unconsciously creating the exact shit they don't want to create because they spend so much time ruminating on it, like we were just talking about a second ago. Especially if the ruminations become conversations. So then you speak whatever they're, you know, you're worried about getting a flat tire on your bike, you know. All of a sudden you go down to the store and psst. Damn. I was just thinking about that. I should have put that tube in my backpack. Crypto was XRP in the new Superman movie. Because it was in I saw it was in Brad Pitt's new movie he's in. Look on his helmet, on his racing car helmet, his chrome dome. There's an XRP logo right in the center of his head, on his little helmet. And then I also saw an XRP billboard. Somebody was in their car in New York, stuck on some overpass, and there was a giant ass XRP billboard over there. Yeah, go to a drive-in. Yeah, now you're talking. See, they should do like a high-tech drive-in. You know, but even still, I mean, on the level you're doing that, I mean, you still have to. Now you have to go out and interact with people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, is everything's volatile and crazy, man. You know what I mean? It's like people are used to the way it was back in the day. It ain't back in the day. You know, if somebody's driving weird you're just driving down the street, somebody drives weird and you get pissed off and you fucking flip them a bird or whatever. You know, you might not make it home that day or whatever. Or you just say something to somebody somewhere in some fucking grocery store. I mean, there's a fucking million of these videos on the internet. The shit that happens. And it's just, the thing is there was this moment I would say it was a little bit after the "Don't Tase Me, Bro" video that I started thinking to myself about it, because there became to be a lot of police violence videos where it was traffic stops or whatever, people of color. Okay, and they were harsh ass videos of people getting beat and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, there was this moment of clarity for me when I realized that, okay, I'm seeing these videos on here, but does that mean, in other words, I see this guy, he goes on there, he asks about the Skull and Bones to John Kerry, and then he gets tased and beat and drug out by like 10 cops. Now, did that really happen? I don't know. Was it an act? It could have been, because you know why? No one ever asked fucking John Kerry again about the Skull and Bones. And I'm just saying, if I show you a bunch of videos on the internet of people getting smart with cops and people just, whatever, and getting beat up, isn't that sort of a training video to keep you, on the up and up in case you get pulled over? Because regular people getting pulled over, they don't want to get beat up. They don't want to make sure they didn't do anything wrong, So, but now there's a bunch of videos now the opposite, There's a bunch of videos out there now where people are using the law against, some of the things that go on in these traffic stops. And I mean, you gotta, I don't know if you've checked out any of these videos, but you really got to admire the balls on some of these people. Because, I mean, given the other videos I was just talking about people getting beat up and all that, but it seems for some reason these particular people that come at this with this legal protection that they've learned about, these people don't, because they're all on cams, right? So you don't see these people getting beat up, even though you really don't, honestly, for some reason. And maybe it's because they demonstrate that they know the law or whatever. And when you know the law, all of a sudden things get weird, because, I mean, every single police officer has a bond, like a bond number. They all have it on there behind their badge, on the back of their badge. I don't know, but they all have their own personal bond. If they don't have that bond, without that bond, you can't be a police officer. So the thing is, if something happens, and you go after one of these individuals, and then they'll sue they'll go after your bond. They'll sue you for it. And so you better be on the up and up. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things you need to do. Here, let me see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll dig up one of these videos and play it. Hang on a second. Here. I don't want to make you wait. I'll play this and then I'll come back. Hang on.
Talking about devotion, the kind that goes on and said, is it true? Is it true? Tell me now. It's a promise I can't make, and I won't validate. Was I being immature? I don't know, I don't care. Now I'm sleeping in my room. Here I am, back again. Since the night. I said, let's see.
This
This is Saturday night. Illuminati. Hey David, what's happening, man? You know, it's funny now I can't find one video. All the videos I'm finding are the opposite of what I was looking for. These are actually people that are getting beat up. All right, let me see. I'm just taking a shot. Fuck. All right. What's wrong with me tonight? Nothing. I just wasn't planning on talking about this. Otherwise, I would have shown you some really good videos. That's some funny shit, man.
been doing at least
I used to get
150 grand a year.
I used to get
If you're
so
completely out of shape. Let's drop the.
I used to get so pissed anytime there would be any sound or anything that wasn't professional on doing these shows. And it's gotten to this point where here I am. I'm just like, it's dead air. I'm typing. I've gotten too relaxed. Okay, no, now we're getting somewhere. Hang on a second. Let's get this rolling here. Sergeant Miller, you want to come on? Hang on a second. Nah, that's a short. Hang on a second. This shit is funny, man. I gotta admit, it's entertaining. I'm sure you will be entertained by this. Here, let's just stand by. I know what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. Let me make it small enough so it's palatable. That's like golf. I'm giving you the fucking play-by-play. So I'm minimizing the window now. And now I'm... No, I don't know what happened because I can't find the window that I'm looking for. There we go. Alright. Now, let's see if we can make it happen, Captain. That's a story about a water skiing accident. Whenever you hear me say, make it happen, Captain, someone said that. And they ended up in a water skiing accident. All right, listen. Here. Okay. Dude's getting pulled over. Now, he's jostling around, he's getting his paperwork together, he's pulling out his ID. The light, you can see the lights on behind him. The cop still hasn't come up. He's reading his paperwork now. He must have planned this. in case he ever did get pulled over. He's trying to get his facts together.
No, I'd rather not put my window down.
Windows down now.
He yelling.
Roll your windows down now.
I refuse to put my window down.
Roll
Hands
your
on.
windows down.
Yo, is you serious, bro?
Roll your windows down now.
No. Oh my fucking god, man. You gotta be kidding me, bro.
You're making this a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Roll your windows down.
Roll the window down, dude. See, here's what happens, man. People watch these videos, and then they go out there and they start. You get yourself in trouble. No, this was 30 minutes. Okay, we're not going to sit here for 30 minutes. There's plenty of these videos. There's a million of these videos. I'm telling you right now. Why do I keep ending up with the crappy ones? All right, come on, man. I need some action.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In June of 2023, Mr. Audit from SoCal DUI Checkpoint Audits was driving through San Diego when he noticed that the local police department had set up a DUI checkpoint.
See, these are the ones that this dude's like a great white shark. He knows his shit and he's slowly pulling into a situation. Yeah.
Sir,
Right.
how's it going today? Pull down the window a little bit further down.
That's fine. I can hear you.
Bring it down for a second, please.
I can hear you.
All right, sir. Hey, listen. Bring your window down.
I can hear you just
You
fine.
want me to get you out of the car?
Do I need to get out of the car?
I'm trying to talk to you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Where are you coming from today?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Any alcohol today?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
Don't answer questions. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, trying to figure out whether or not you've been drinking today, okay?
I understand that.
There's an easy process. If you haven't had anything to drink, perfect. You'll be out of here in no time. All right? Kind of holding up the line here.
Am I free to go?
Not yet.
Am I being detained?
You're not being detained.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you haven't been drinking today.
I understand that.
Sir, you can make it easier. Are you easy on yourself or hard on yourself here, okay? You're
Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
what's that?
Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay.
Yep. No? All right. All right, sir. Get out of here.
While DUI checkpoints aim to enhance road safety and prevent drunk driving, do they infringe upon our constitutional rights? Also known as sobriety checkpoints, these stationary roadblocks set up by law enforcement agencies aim to detect and apprehend drivers under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Advocates argue that these checkpoints act as a deterrent, reducing the number of impaired drivers on the road. However, they rarely consider the constitutional concerns, particularly regarding the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth supposedly serves as a safeguard against unwarranted searches and seizures by law enforcement. It requires officers to have probable cause or warrant based on specific facts before conducting a search. DUI checkpoints undoubtedly violate this principle by subjecting drivers to searches without individualized suspicion. Instead,
without suspicion articulated. It's bad news, ladies and gentlemen.
these blanket stops infringe on the rights of innocent drivers by detaining and questioning them without reason. While public safety is a significant concern, we must ask whether the benefits of DUI checkpoints outweigh the potential infringement on individual rights.
There's no question. Now, Sergeant Miller, do you want me to add you to the conversation? I keep asking you, but I think there's a delay. Anyway, These are the videos here. Cops regrets.
Going when you came by chance?
It's on my dash cam.
How fast were you going?
It's on my dash cam.
You don't know how fast you were going? Going when you came by chance?
It's on my dash cam.
How fast were you going?
It's on my dash cam.
You don't know how fast you were going?
It's on my dash cam.
The traffic stop began when an officer pulled the driver over, claiming he was following another vehicle too closely.
You roll your window down a little bit more for me, so I can hear you.
That should be good enough.
You roll the window down just a little bit more, so I can hear you.
I can hear you just
I can't
fine.
hear you because of all the traffic.
I can hear you just fine. I'll speak up a little louder so you can hear
Speak
me.
up a little bit for me. I'm Deputy Henny, Grace County Sheriff's Office.
The officer immediately requested that the driver lower his window further for communication. Under Texas Transportation Code Section 5, Texas law only requires a driver to exhibit their license, not fully lower the window or surrender documents physically. The driver used this law to keep the window low enough to speak, blocking the officer's attempt to gain control of the situation.
That's fine.
License, got your insurance with you?
Yep. May I ask the reason for the nature of the stop?
I will after you hand me your license and insurance, okay? Can you hand me your driver's license?
It's on this side here. Traffic's noise. If you're worried about the traffic, you're on the same side as the traffic noise, okay?
Guy, I can't hear you. Roll the window down just a little bit more for me, okay?
If you're worried about the traffic noise, you're on the same side as the traffic over there. So I'll go ahead and get the luxury of you to put my driver's license and my insurance on this side of the window here, okay?
You want to hand me your driver's license?
No, they're right here.
Why won't you hand me your driver's license?
Because Texas law states I only have to exhibit them. I don't have to hand them over.
Well, you want to hold it out so I can get your information?
It's right here, right against the window here.
So I can get your...
So you don't have to surrender the documents. You only have to make them visible. So you can put it like this on the window, or you can put it in the window like that guy did. And the thing is about, you know, when you go to buy a car, and they go, "Hey man, you know, let me get your ID," or whatever, and they get your ID. And if you start in the middle, you start pissing backwards, you don't want to make a deal. They got your ID, and you can't leave. You're like, "Give me my ID, man. I just want to fucking leave," and they won't give it to you. It's the same thing with this. If you hand out your documents, you can't leave till you get them back.
I don't want to have to reach over there. I don't want you to say I'm reaching for anything. I want to keep my hands where you can see them. Everything right here that you need is right against this window here. And I'm just going to remain silent for the rest of the traffic stop, okay?
When the officer asked for the driver's license and insurance, the driver displayed them against the window without handing them over. Under Texas Transportation Code Section 5, 21.025, exhibiting a license is sufficient and physical surrender is not required. The driver calmly refused to hand over the documents, frustrating the officer's efforts. This left the officer with no choice but to continue without any further push.
Seriously, if you're sitting there and you're getting pulled over and all of a sudden you just decide, you know what, man, this is it. I'm not rolling my window down. Fuck that. I am not rolling my window down. You decide that this is the moment. Could you imagine your heartbeat right now with all this that's going on? Like, you don't know what's going to happen, man. This dude could start bashing the window in any second with his nightstick or whatever. You don't know what's going to happen. And you're scared shitless. You know, you thought this shit would work. You watched a video on YouTube, and you thought it was legal or whatever, but you really don't know until you're in the situation. Now you're sitting there. Fuck that.
How can I help you?
Hey, Mr. Turner, you still live the same address on your license?
I'm going to remain silent.
Say again?
Going to remain silent.
All right. Do you want me to tell you why you got pulled over? Or do you want to remain silent?
I'm still waiting for that
I
explanation.
can't hear you. Speak up for me, please.
Still waiting for that explanation.
One more time.
Still waiting for that explanation.
Sir, I can't hear you.
Reasonable, articulated suspicion of committing a crime is what's necessary to detain someone. Okay? Reasonable, All right. Here we go.
Just fine. So I'm pretty sure I can
can't
hear you.
because of the traffic, and you got this window rolled down like 3 inches.
Yeah, sure. You can tell me why you pulled me over.
Okay, do you want to know what the reason?
Yes, I'm still waiting.
Okay. Hey, did you happen to see me sitting on the side of the road back there, a couple miles?
No, I was just driving on the road.
Hey, when you came by in the left-hand lane, but you're following the vehicle in front of you, about probably a car length and a half back. Were you aware that you're going that close?
I have a dash cam right here.
I can't hear you.
I understand. I know how far I was away from the vehicle.
How far were you?
What's that?
How far were you from the vehicle in front of you when you came by?
I know how far away. I know how far away.
Okay, he said he wasn't going to answer questions, and this guy got him to answer questions when he said, "Did you see me sitting back there?" See, he hasn't. Did you see me sitting back there? He said, "I don't answer questions," but he answered that question, and now he's doing this. Here we go.
And that's all I'm going to say.
How far were you then?
I have it on my dash cam. That's all I'm saying.
You what?
I have it on my dash cam right here, which is recording.
All right.
And that's all I'm going to say.
That you're probably a car length and a half or so back from this person in front of you?
I'm going to say it's on my dash cam.
Say again?
It's on my dash cam.
Okay. Hey, do you know how fast you were going when you came by chance?
It's on my dash cam.
How fast were you going?
It's on my dash cam.
You don't know how fast you were going?
It's on my dash cam.
Okay. All right. Hey, when's the last time you got a ticket? Mr. Turner, when's the last time you got a ticket?
I'm remaining silent right now.
Say again?
I'm going to remain silent.
You're going to remain silent? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Hey, I'll be right back with you, okay?
Okay.
The officer then asked how fast the driver was going and how closely he was following the vehicle ahead. The driver exercised his right to remain silent. Under the U.S. Constitution's Fifth Amendment, individuals have the right to remain silent to avoid self-incrimination. By repeatedly referring to his dash cam footage, the driver shut down any attempt by the officer to gather incriminating statements.
What ended up happening was he ran my plates, and I had got a ticket here a long time ago. It was like a while back.
Oh, it's a while back.
I'd say about
but he never went to court.
I got a ticket here. And he didn't pull me over immediately. He ran my tags first and then decided to pull me over. And then he wanted to ask me questions such as, do you know how close you were following? Which is on my dash cam. I don't have to answer that question. And he was asking me how fast do I think I was going. You don't have to answer that question either. It's on my dash cam. Whether or not if you don't have a dash cam, you don't have to answer those questions.
Later, the officer requested that the window be lowered further to check the tint, attempting to gain more control over the situation. The driver, remaining calm and composed, cooperated just enough by slightly lowering the window for the officer to complete the check. Under Texas Penal Code Section 38.02, drivers are required to comply with tint checks, but they do not have to provide full cooperation beyond what is necessary. The driver's minimal compliance frustrated the officer, as it prevented any further escalation of control. By adhering strictly to the law, the driver kept the officer from pushing boundaries or overstepping his authority.
Hey, roll that window down a little bit more and I check that tint.
All right, give me 1 second.
Just a little bit more. Go ahead and put your camera up here, that's fine. Just do it a couple more inches for me, okay? There you go. Let me hold the camera so you can get the reading.
I see it 29.7.
29.7. All right. So, you live up here now? Mr. Turner, you living up here now?
I'm not answering any questions.
Say again?
I'm not answering any questions.
Why don't you want to answer any questions?
Because I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right now.
Why is he asking questions? It's not up to you. If someone's doing an investigation, it's not your responsibility to help them along with their investigation. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. He doesn't have to answer any questions. But
okay. All right. You do this all the time?
I can give you a business card after we're finished.
Say again?
I said I can give you a business card after we're finished.
Please? We're done.
We're done?
This is a warning for a traffic stop.
What was the warning for?
What did I tell you why you recently got pulled over? For following too closely?
I'm not sure you were asking me questions, so I'm not sure if that was the reason why you were pulling me over. So you were asking me if I was following too close. You asked me how fast I was going.
Yeah.
But I still don't know why you're pulling me over.
Because you were following the vehicle in front of you too close.
So,
okay. That's why you got pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
If you have all that stuff on your dash camera, you'll know it. Okay?
Sure.
So when you go back and look at it, you probably see my car parked on the side of the road. So you living up in this area now?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
What does he care? What, do you want to have a beer with him?
Do you have a business card? I'd have one of yours?
Yeah, sure.
The officer, left with no room to assert dominance, was forced to continue.
What is this, like idle conversation? So, hey, you living around here now?
First time I saw you, you were chasing down the cyclone all alone in a field with rail yards and clovers that kept rolling on. Never thought you'd wind up chasing me.
Sergeant Miller, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What's
Yes,
happening?
sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. You hear you loud and clear.
All right. That's a Roger. Roger that.
Right
Charlie
on.
Mike.
Right on. So what's happening, man? It's good to see you. So yeah, we were talking about, I was just talking about some of these people because there's a shitload of these videos now where they're doing, they're doing keeping people honest, kind of like walking around, taking pictures of buildings, and someone comes out, go, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Well, I'm just taking pictures." Well, why are you taking pictures? Because I feel like it. I'm on public property. It's I don't know, man. I mean, the world has turned a little bit sour. Back in the day.
Yes.
I mean, do you remember literally back in the day, people used to drive around with a beer between their legs?
Yeah.
And
well, down here in the South, you had either a shotgun or a rifle in your back window of your Chevy truck.
And a beer between your legs, man. You know what I mean?
And gas was like $1. $20, you get your 6-pack of cigarettes and $10 worth of gas.
There you go, man. You were living. That's back when you can almost. I mean, it's a joke to even say back then. It was a time when you could afford to live, but even back then, it seemed like shit was expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what frustrates people in our generation. When we sit back and really think about our upbringing and how much it changed, and you can't help but talk about it. That's why I appreciate places like this, Into the Microcosm, Revolution Radio, and everybody that's listening. I appreciate all the input because we all in this shit together.
Yeah.
And I got a saying, it's the same shit, just different toilet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because what I was talking about last night on the show, and what we were talking about was the way different generations' learning patterns form pathways in brains, and how modern children are burning different kinds of pathways, and so modern children didn't run around until the sun went down. You know what I'm saying? Your parents didn't know where you were for 12 hours. You just got on your bike and just went somewhere. They didn't know where the fuck you were. They didn't have, people weren't wearing helmets on their bikes, this and that. Now everybody's protected, and it's like there has to be this social safety net of proportions that are just unbelievable. In other words, don't do something that's going to hurt you. If you're acting stupid, you're going to get killed, right? I mean, obviously. The thing is, they didn't used to have seatbelts in the cars, but now they do. So if there's one in the car, there's one there, why wouldn't you wear it? You want to be a rebel or whatever.
I'm not mad at the seatbelt. As a trucker, I'm not mad at the seatbelt. Trust me.
No,
It
no.
is, is like pick your poison. Whether you're gonna fly through a window or you're gonna have a little strain in your neck. You got to pick your poison. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just, times they are changing, and so are society's changing in a big way. Because I mean, there's, you know, people between the ages of 16 and 39. They're not going to have a problem with a lot of the, you know, technology and the advances that we're making into these, cashless stores and this and that. They're not going to have a problem with this giving up of their information.
yeah, yeah. But to me, there's a disconnect between the elders and the younger generation, and I could pinpoint it to competition. Fighting for the cheese. The rat race to get to the cheese. You're gonna do anything you can when you're in survival mode. Kind of like someone that's drowning. If you go try to save that person's life, guess what? That person will stand on top of you to save their life.
Yeah, that's why if someone's drowning, you throw them a line. You never reach your hand down and pull them out.
Okay.
Just always throw them a line or a fucking life preserver.
All right. All right.
Just just a little personal information from old Jimmy. Always throw them a line. Well, listen, it's a different time we're living in, so our brains are different, right? So, like for example, when I was in junior high, we had wood shop, metal shop, auto shop, drafting. You had to go to each one of those shops. You had to go to each one of those was a class. You had to go to it. You know what I mean? But they don't have that anymore. And I'm telling you, I think that kind of learning structure, whether you were good at it or not, if you were, just that thing that you had to learn caused you to burn certain ideas into your mind. Be a hard worker. We were talking about it earlier. Who cares if you're a hard worker? You know what I mean? I mean, all my life I've been a hard worker. All my life I've been, when there's 5 guys that show up, I'm always the guy who's, they go, hey man, can you do this? Can you do that? I'm always getting moved up because because I bust ass or I worked hard or whatever. But ultimately, did my hard work actually mean anything really? No, it didn't. I could have did half of what I did. I'd still be getting paid the same amount of money. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go there and fucking be Jimmy, and show up and do my thing or whatever. I could have hung back and just fucking half-assed it, and no one would have fucking known. And you just sit there and just do your thing, and that's sort of the mentality that there is now, is people do as much as they have to do to get by, and that's all. There's no extra effort. Because they know at the end of the road there ain't no white picket fence, no house. It ain't like 1952. You know what I mean? It's a fucking $60,000 pickup truck. Could you imagine the payment on a $60,000 pickup truck, dude? $60,000 just to buy you a Craftsman home or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, originally they sold for $6,000, but then after time went by, you could buy them for like 60 grand. Now they're 600 grand, and trucks are 60 grand. How's people paying for that shit? What's the payment on a truck? Listen, you know what, Sergeant Miller? At the point that you're paying for a $60,000 pickup truck, shouldn't you just go out and lease yourself a fucking 18-wheeler? Fucking make some money.
You might as well. Even if you don't have the license to drive it, you still can lease it out to a company to use, and they'll take care of the maintenance, with the contract. So you might as well just put yourself in debt to start your own business. And don't that make sense? You know.
That makes sense, but what doesn't make sense is people being like 100 grand in debt when they get out of college. It's like they're already on the arm or whatever. You're already fucking, you know, you're already getting bled out. You haven't even started your life yet, and you've already like spent the money that you're gonna make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's a, I don't know, man. You know, it's like this. Back in the day, we used to say, "You don't know what you're talking about, old man. Man, I got my life ahead of me, man." You know, but I mean, I was thinking about the other night when they used to have those, when they used to burn the records. I mean, a big pile of books and records, and they burn that shit. And they said it was the devil or whatever. It was going to ruin society and shit. And everybody said, "You don't know what you're talking about, old man." Well, it turns out they did know what they were talking about. Because look, man, it all started when Elvis shook his leg on TV, dude. When they showed Elvis from the waist down, that was it. That was the beginning of the end.
Where did Elvis get his flavor from?
Exactly. Where did he get it from?
Okay. You better we can ask BB King. Ask BB King where you got his flavor from.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that he got him shaking his leg on TV. But before they let him get it shaking his leg, they said, "Well, we ain't gonna show him shaking that leg." What was so detrimental about the leg shaking? Because the whole thing is that style of music and what did the term rock and roll used to mean? That used to mean getting laid, didn't it? Wasn't that like a saying in all those in like the jazz clubs and shit? Rock and roll.
Well, there's a term in French, laissez les bontés rouler. You know, let the good times roll.
Yeah, man.
That's connected with rock and roll also.
Well, rock and roll, did it destroy society? I don't know. I don't know because you know, as you know, at each period of time, these songs were all telling stories. So some stories, you know, and there was a certain storyline that might have been popular at a certain time. You know what I mean? So you might get infatuated with the storyline, and the beat has a hook to it or whatever. And I know you're into music and stuff. You're a sound engineer,
Yes.
Sergeant Mill. But I'm just saying, you know, each generation, the people were singing about a different thing. There was a storyline going. There was a tone that like ringing through everything. And so the thing is, I am completely and utterly not interested in the storyline that's going on right now. So I don't have any kind of a some of this older music, you know, the lyrics in combination with the music itself, you know, and you would play it. It was a LP. It was a long player. So you put it at the beginning of the record and you let the fucking needle go across the whole record. And that record and that recording and that music all together from beginning to end was a thing. You know, there's a lot of those, right? A lot of those records that you listen to, and it's like a journey, you know, from the beginning, from the very first groove until the end of that record. You were sitting there. People used to just sit there and just listen to shit over and over. You know that? Remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, me and you are both birds of a feather that's gonna flock together. You know, we're both MCs, masters of ceremony, and DJs, disc jockeys.
Yeah, man.
So, you know, I appreciate you for keeping that art going. I love hearing your playlists. You know, how you feeling is the music you're playing. So I can understand where you at by the certain music you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, like I could tell you a story. This was years ago. I was DJing. My uncle has a club in Houston called the Turning Point.
Uh-huh.
And he's a Prince Hall Freemason 33rd degree.
Oh.
And his club is a safe haven for fellow for fellow craftsmen.
Travelers.
Now I did fellow travelers. That's how he's so successful. He's been in business since 72, still going strong. So one night, me and my cousin Big A, that's his baby boy, which is my age. We're like brothers. And he would provide the music. You know, he would burn CDs at this time, burn CDs to where I have house music
Yeah.
for happy hour. So for this whole week, I wanted to play that Dear Mama because I was missing my mother at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it happens. There's one happy hour on a Friday. Man, I'm playing that Dear Mama. But I played an instrumental first just to get everybody into the groove and then mix it in with the song.
Yeah.
And one of my uncle's frat brothers, man, he comes to the DJ booth crying. He says, man, I've been wanting to hear that song all night. He was like, man, I lost my mother 2:00 this morning. And that was the song I've been wanting to hear. And he said, the first place I hear it is at Paul Miller's Turning Point. And man, let me tell you something. That built a bond between me and him. To this day, we're still in contact. So you're talking about frequency and energy and,
Yeah.
you know, it's no coincidence. Everything vibrates. Every object vibrates in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
So stories like that is what I keep me going and I hold dear to my heart. You know, that's, you know how they say it's too good to be true? I mean, man, look, stories like that keep me going.
Yeah, man. That's definitely a good story. Now, who was the artist? Was this not,
That was,
no,
it
you
was Tupac's Dear Mama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. That is a good song.
Yeah.
All right, hang on a second.
Yeah, so it is, you was talking about frequency. Yeah, that's how, what they say, the stars are aligned, you know. And speaking of that, you know, I hope everybody enjoying that full moon. Gather that energy because the dark priests of the world, they're using that energy against you. So I'm telling you to use that energy in a positive way for you, your family, and your loved ones.
Yeah, man.
You know, just your thoughts. Even if you just stand outside under the full moon and have positive thoughts with your shoes off, ground
man.
yourself and collect that energy and use it to better humanity. That's my thoughts on
and try to
full moon.
And try to be a conscious creator.
Yes.
Don't be an unconscious creator. Don't speak negative shit into existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, here you go. I'm going to throw you back right now. Now, I used to wash dishes when I was when I was super young. And I was working in this Moroccan restaurant. Okay, so I used to have to go out there and take this finger bowl out there and pour this hot water. People used to sit. They had all these, material coming down. It was like you were sitting in tents. And I used to work in there. And I used to listen to this radio station in the Bay Area. It was called KSOL. I used to sit there and listen all night long. I'd wait for this song right here to come on. This song right here. I'm gonna bring you back right now. It's Ground Zero Plus. It's Norman Connors.
You are
Damn.
Baby, yeah.
Man, people had class.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's low class, man. Wouldn't you say? Things have just got to a point where it's just fucking.
Yeah. Things are copy and paste.
Yeah. We're twerking on the bar. You know? People used to be falling. I mean, people used to be falling in love and all this in these songs, you know. No, it's just, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. The thing is, I don't want to be that guy. I mean, I don't want to be, you know, the grumpy old man who don't like the fucking music or today. I mean, look, believe me, if the shit was good, I'd like it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah. Well, you can find diamonds in the rough. Like one of my favorite artists I followed is these days Jelly Roll
mm-hmm.
and Shabuski.
Shabuski.
Now oh man, let me tell you, they're throwback, but they mixing in like the new age with the old. I mean, man, look, they got Jelly Roll got some beautiful music, man. But it's undescribable, but it's soul. It's soul at its foundation, you know.
Damn.
Yeah,
well,
Jelly Roll's a bad man.
Well, we got 2 minutes left. We'll have to get into it. And you're welcome to stop by on Friday night or Saturday, anytime. So
yeah.
If you're around,
that's what I woke up and I said, man, shout out to Flippy. Flippy had shared your live stream in Rev Radio.
Oh, hey,
so that I said,
thanks, man, or thanks, Flippy. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the morning for Sunday morning Wake and Bake, 8 o'clock Pacific, right here on Ground Zero Plus. Remember, stay tuned. I guess there's a special running. Chris has got some special coming up, SummerSlam or something. Check it out over there on the website. And thanks for being here. See you next time, tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. God willing.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. It's good to see you, man. Good to have you. Thanks for being here.
Love is a nasty word to speak. I don't wanna love him anymore. He's nothing like the man I loved before. But the pain gets real comfortable when it's all you got. Ashes and smoke, they can't compete.